Hello friends and people in virtual world, welcome back to Baggy's TMD. Don't forget to hit subscribe and smash that like button if you're enjoying the channel. Right, today we are going to go through the basics of DCC wiring power to a simple set of points and some bits of track. So if you've seen the previous video where we laid all the track, you'll know that this joint here, this joint here, this joint here and this joint here are clipped using the normal track joiners, the metal track joiners, so power in theory will flow all the way along this rail and it'll flow all the way along this rail. Now that one and that one inside are insulated, so in theory when we switch the points over, the power will go through the electric frog and power up the right little piece of track. So in theory, you can get away with putting track feed there and it'll power all this section of track work up for us. Because as we remember, DCC is 2 wires. It is 2 wires, but we have a lot of them 2 wires. Now, as the layout we're building, Sadler's Way, is actually an exhibition layout, I like to wire a little bit of redundancy into the layout, so if one wire does fail, we've got backup wires to be able to power it. So every set piece of track will have a wire, every set of points will have its own feed, and then these will also have their own feed. Like I say, this is just to give us some redundancy in case a wire fails on that. We've got a wire there and we've got wires here to pick up the slack, so we've got a nice reliable running layout ready for an exhibition. So let me just pull up a piece of paper and we'll go through it so we're not actually looking at track. Right, so we've got our piece of paper here. So basically our track comes along like that. We've got another track like that. We have a track that comes like that and a track that comes like that. So imagine that the rail joints are there, and there. So how would we wire this up? So pretend this track just carries on. So what we'd do is we'd say we'd put a plus there and a minus there. We do the same on this piece of track, so be a plus there, a minus there, plus there, and a minus there. Now on the point itself, we would also add a plus and a minus. So we'd put a plus about there and a minus about there. So then all that track, including that bit there, is a plus. All that track down there and that bit there is a minus. Like I say, then we know we've got continuity going across there, but also running across to there through that little bit of track there as well. Because I say, that bit gets powered up on the frog, but we'll go into how we power that up better when we get into fitting point motors and micro switches. So same again then, the minus runs into that, runs across to that, but also runs up to that. That is your bog standard basic DCC wiring for a set of points. Like I say, you can swap pieces of paper, you can get away with, there we go, so rail joints there. You can get away with just putting a plus there and a minus there. Like I say, that will power all that, the minus will power all that, and it'll come, the plus will go that way as well. But like I say, we prefer doing it this way with more droppers, just to give us more reliability on the layout when we run into a show. Now, if you've got a double set of points, which we'll get to in a minute, they're a little bit more awkward to wire up, but we'll go through that. So let me just reposition the camera again, guys, and I'll show you how we go through a double set of points. Right, here we are then, guys. 2 points together with track work all around it. Now on this one, ooh, just about to see me smooth that. That one is a metal rail joint. That one is a metal rail joint. and that one is a metal rail joint. This side acts like a normal piece of track like we've just looked at. Here, though, we have isolated that side, isolated that side, isolated that side, because there's a chance of a cross polarity, so we might go from a plus to a minus across these little frog bits. So we wired that up a little bit differently. You wire it up the same as what you would a normal point, but you just make sure that that little section there is isolated from everything else. That's isolated there because we've got another point after it, but just pretend it's a straight piece of track. And like I say, that's live, that's live, that one there's live, and that one would also be live. Like I say, just ignore that point at the moment, just pretend it's a straight piece of track. So let's go back to the piece of paper and we'll show you how to wire up a section of track just like this. Right, back to the piece of paper. So we have a line running there, line running there. We also have another line running there, another line running there, and that sort of goes like that. That one goes like that. So then we've got rail joint, rail joint, rail joint, rail joints, and rail joints. So like we said before, that one, and that one, that one, and that one are metal, so the power can flow straight through it. That one, that one, that one, that one, and more importantly, them two are plastic ones, so isolating it. So it's isolating all the bits of track, so you don't get no cross currents going through. You can't, because like I say, you run the risk of a plus and a minus going against each other. So how do we wire this one up? It's basically the same as the original one. So we'd have a plus there, a minus there, plus there, minus there, plus there, minus there, plus there, minus there. And I say, because we're isolated, we can treat it like two separate points. So we'd have a plus on that side, a minus on that side, and we'd have a plus on that side and a minus on that side. And that's how I wire up my points. Like I say, we start getting a bit complicated with electrofrog and instafrog. I use electrofrog on all my layouts, but we'll get into the aspects of wiring, how these bits wire when we come to point motors. But like I say, if you just wired like that and literally just click the points over by themselves, you would have a reliable running DCC layout with working points. Hey, that's helped you out, guys. If you've got any questions, stick them down in the comment section. I say, don't forget to like the video if it's helped you with basic wiring. That's how I've wired, well, how I'm going to be wiring this layout. It's how I've wired Baggy's TMD. It's how I've wired Blue Street. It's how we've wired the DCC layout at Train Club at Bryan Street. It's a bog standard, simple way of wiring up your points. Yes, I know everyone goes, oh, but DCC is only 2 wires. It is 2 wires, but you have a lot of them 2 wires because you have lots of droppers. In theory, every one of these droppers can all go into 2 wires, so all the pluses go into a plus wire, all the minuses go into a plus wire, and then you just run 2 wires straight off to your controller, and you'll have a working layout. But like I say, oh, that's helped you out, guys. I'll see you later.